Welcome back to the Kosi Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. We'll come back to a brand new video. Kai Havertz has picked up a muscular injury in Dubai. Arsenal are in turmoil. This is a crisis, and we said it before that we are one injury away from an attacking crisis. Now, it looks like we are actually suffering two injuries because Martinelli and Havertz have both picked up injuries at the same time. This is a crisis. There's no question about that. Mikel ARTETA has suggested that Mikel Merino could actually be used as a false nine as he has played there before. Forget about the Premier League, forget about the UEFA Champions League, forget about winning any silverware. We are finished, we are done, let's wait for next season. It's just a shambles of a season. Like, if we have reached a point where we are contemplating using Mikel Merino as a false nine, I don't know in which world that works, but trust me, not in the Premier League, not in the UEFA Champions League. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. We have dug ourselves a hole and we have fallen right into it, and we look surprised. We are acting surprised. Everyone is like, what? We are into this ditch? Of course we are. We dug that hole and we have fallen into it, and now everybody's like, how did we get here? We got here because we screwed up last summer and we screwed up in January as well. That is what is happening. Now, let's start off with the good news, the positive, right? The positive is that although it's a muscular injury, early indications are saying that Kai Havertz could actually be out for a short period of time. We're talking about probably missing around 2 or 3 games. If he misses the Leicester City game, that is all right. I mean, by the time we get back into the UEFA Champions League, he might be okay. Now, that is the positive part. The negative part and the worrying part, right, if you're an Arsenal fan, is muscular injuries, you don't know. You know, with them, you don't know what's going to happen. It's a muscle, right? It might take long, it might take a short period of time. But if Kai Havertz takes a month, or 1.5 months out, we are basically finished. And everybody knows this. We are finished if Kai Havertz is going to be out for quite some time. Now, with Havertz injured, that takes the number to 4 starters up front that are injured. And that is Kai Havertz, Gabriel Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, and Gabriel Jesus. And guess what? Those 4 were the most informed forwards and the most used this campaign. Saka, he is the only attacking option Arsenal have. Kai Havertz, he's our top scorer, although he's not good, but he's been our top scorer this campaign, and him being out basically means that we are left with no one. Gabriel Jesus, he picked up form, played very, very well, I think, for 3 games, and his season is over, and he won't begin next campaign. Martinelli, I think he's been used in wrong positions, but he was trying. And then he picked up an injury. These are the repercussions of, I would say, 2 very bad transfer windows. These are the repercussions, right? Because, I mean, having 4 players out, you're not going to blame the team really so much, right? But if you had at least 1 player coming in January, then that means that you're not left with Trossard. That means that you're not left with Nwaneri and Sterling only. For example, if we had brought in Matistel or if we had brought in Oli Watkins, this is where they would come in handy. And I just don't know, but we just lack vision like clubs like Manchester City. Like, if City have the vision to go and do Omar Mamouche and do Nico Gonzalez and do deals for, Kusanov, it just shows you the level of ambition. It just shows you the level of prudence that these clubs have, because they know that these are long-term signings. We could get them in January. They're long-term signings. We are not going to throw them away because they were quick fixes in January. So I think January and the impact of us not signing anyone, it's just catching up with us. So how would we even, I can't even figure out how to put up a decent forward line. Trossard on the left, we know Trossard, when he starts, at times it doesn't actually come good. But now he has to play 90 minutes. Nwaneri, thank goodness he's back, but he's just come back from an injury. He's a 17-year-old, and we're going to put a lot of pressure on him. And then Raheem Sterling, my boy, this is like a big gamble. Either Raheem Sterling comes good and Nwaneri becomes supersonic, which is unnecessary pressure on the young lad, or Arsenal just wait for next season. But we had a whole summer and we had a whole list of strikers. What happened to that? We had a whole January and we had a whole list of strikers. What actually happened to that? Now, as I was, looking at the news, it has been suggested that Mikel Merino and Ethan Nwaneri could be the two that step in for Kai Havertz. Nwaneri has impressed in Dubai as a 9, and Mikel Merino has played about 50 plus games as at false 9 before. Crap. Okay, with Ethan Nwaneri, I might understand. Really talented, kind of chess Fabregas, like he can play anywhere. He's a 10, he can play as a 7. We've seen him play on that right wing very well, scoring beautiful goals against Manchester City and Brighton. So I think I can understand the theory. But why I wouldn't really shift Nwaneri into centre forward is because the right wing, like you can't trust Sterling on the right wing. We all know how important the right wing is, and we all know how dead our centre forward position is. So you can't shift your best attacking option who has learned the basics and principles of a winger in Ethan Nwaneri, and then you shift him into centre forward. Doesn't work. It's like Salah being shifted into centre forward because Darwin Núñez is injured. It doesn't work like that. So for me, I'm against Ethan Nwaneri coming into centre forward positions because I really believe that Arsenal could benefit from Nwaneri being out on the right, Odegaard and Partey. We could focus our attacks down the right-hand side with Benjamin White coming back. The other theory that has really made me angry is Mikel Merino at centre forward, like false 9. Now, I know football has changed, right? You don't just look at a guy and you're like, he can't do this, he can't do that. But honestly, guys, right? Picture this. You are in the title race with Liverpool. And it is Arsenal versus Liverpool. And it's a very important game. Arsenal win it, they go above Liverpool. Liverpool win it, they go 5 points clear of Arsenal, right? Let's just picture that scenario. And Arsenal's starting 11 has these 3 up top. Nwaneri on the right, Sterling or Trossard on the left, and Mikel Merino up top. Come on, man. Like, really come on. Honestly. I think we are done this season. I think end the season, it's finished. It's finished. There is nothing that we are going to salvage from this campaign. Because now you have Kai Havertz picking up momentum. Now he's injured. He's coming back. Needs to pick up momentum again. Saka needs to pick up momentum. And so does Gabriel Martinelli. It's been a horror of a season. And I think it's high time we wrap it up. Honestly. But with Mikel Merino, I don't want to see it. I will not watch games where Arsenal play with Mikel Merino at centre forward. I will not watch them. I will not watch them. If we win, I'm glad. If we don't, I will be glad that I didn't waste my time watching a horror show. Because that is pain. That will be pain. Mikel Merino at centre forward, that would be pain. Now, what would I do? It's difficult, right? It's really difficult. But I think we've got to use Trossard at centre forward now. We've got to use Trossard at centre forward. I think he's a lethal striker of the ball. I don't mean he's a striker, but I mean a lethal finisher, right? So I think we could use him at centre forward. Then we could use Ethan Nwaneri, right wing. The left wing begs a question. Who can feel it? Because Sterling is off form. 100% off form, right? And this is where I would suggest something like a crazy theory. Like really crazy. Could we move Alexander Zinchenko into midfield, right? Move Alexander Zinchenko into midfield and then just play with a midfield of 4 and play a 4-4-2. Trossard and Nwaneri up top, and then we play a 4-4-2. Just add one more midfielder to the... You could move Merino into the midfield. Don't have a problem with that. You have Merino, Rice, Partey, and Odegaard. Or Zinchenko, Rice, Partey, and Odegaard. I think Raheem Sterling is a wastage of time. Don't put him up top. I think our best 11 right now has to shift into a 4-4-2 without Kai Havertz and without Saka and without Gabriel Martinelli. 4-4-2 with 4 midfielders. And I think Odegaard has got to play a little bit more central. Or, alternatively, we could play without a striker. How does it work? You could play with Odegaard as your false 9, right? Obviously, he doesn't want to be that high. He prefers to be a little bit deeper. We know that. But you could play him that high up the pitch. And then you allow Declan Rice and Thomas Partey to run the midfield, run the show. And possibly Trossard on the left, Nwaneri on the right. But goals are going to dry up. Goals are really going to dry up. Because what Kai Havertz gives you is a target man. Now, our target man is gone. I think goals are really going to dry up. And it's going to be like a horror show. Like a really, really horror show. But if the scans are run and the tests are done, I'll let you know the extent of the injury later on.